Our next guest tonight is Ann Kuipers. Her talk is entitled Becoming Steel. Ann is a mom. This is a partial list, by the way. Mom, a roller derby gal. She's a bagpiper. She's a gamer. She's a close friend of Nichelle Nichols. You have to see the website to figure that out. And she lifts. So basically, she's a really badass nerd. So she's got something to talk to you guys about. Ladies and gentlemen, Ann Kuipers. Where are you, Ann? Keep it going for her.
Thank you. All right, let's go. So I started my journey to becoming steel when I was born. I'm the little one in the middle there. 2 older sisters who are both overachieving as well. So my whole life I had to fight for that notice and fight for that place in the family. I did that by going outside the norm, playing bagpipes, doing weird things. And that seemed to work pretty well for me. Got through life, got my classical languages major in, got 8 years of Latin, and was raising my family, and it was going really well. And anytime we hit any rough patches, I would just take the creative route. That worked well until my mom got cancer, and that wasn't dealt with very creatively. It wasn't able to be dealt with at all. So spent 1.5 years fighting with her, and after I lost her after that 1.5 years, I had to refine myself. And so I started working out with a personal trainer. My initial goal was to climb a mountain. So I lifted, I ran up and down stairs, which I hate. But even as my trip to the mountain was getting nearer, I knew that I would have to have something that came next, because I knew I was not going to be running up and down stairs without a reason to run up and down stairs. So I started thinking about what would come next. And so, of course, I had 2 options that I narrowed it down to, either underwater hockey or roller derby. I went out and watched some games, and I saw some skaters really that clinched the deal for me, because I saw in their eyes how much they loved skating and how happy they just seemed. And plus, you get to hit people really hard when you play roller derby, and you can't do that in underwater hockey because of the water. So I showed up and started learning how to skate. Usually when people start learning derby, then the big pull at first is finding your derby name. Probably a lot of you have already found your derby name, and you don't even plan on joining derby ever. But for me, I waffled for months and months, and I could take months and months because I'm also a very slow learner. And so I thought for months and months of what kind of name could inspire me, what kind of name could push me, but what kind of name reflected someone who was really pretty wobbly on her skates and not very tough or buff or anything. So I thought through the names. And I worked, and I pushed, and I skated oftentimes on my own because the rest of my people from my basic training group were off doing more advanced things, except for the ones who already quit, because they had quit trying. And I at least was there, still trying. And I decided that I was going to see this through to the end. I had all kinds of support with me. I had people who could see my progress when I couldn't. I had people who could explain things just the right way so that I could finally understand. And I kept working, and I kept pushing. And finally, after 1 year of learning how to skate, I played in my very first game for just a little bit, and I was pretty useless for the entire game. But I kept trying, and after a couple of months, I came home excited from a game because for just a couple seconds, I was marginally useful. And so I was going to take that, and I was going to just take that momentum and bring my mediocrity up to the next level. and become super useful, or at least useful for a little bit longer. And so I went into practice, I took chances, I tried to slip right around that blocker, and that's when she really connected with my leg, and I heard a pop and tore my MCL. So I was out for 3 months, watching, thinking about strategy, and doing what I could to get my leg back in shape. And finally, after a few months, I was cleared to skate again. And so I came in and I skated, and I pushed myself, and I worked so hard, and I took chances, and I fell down a lot. And things were going well. I was starting to be regularly useful in a game, and that's when tragedy hit, and I lost some people who were really important to me. And for a while, I wasn't sure if I could even get out of bed, and I wasn't sure how I was going to hold my family together. I wasn't sure if I would be able to keep doing derby until I realized that I needed to keep doing derby, because that was grounding me to myself. And that's when I buckled down and really became the name that I chose. I had looked at a lot of names during those months when I was still learning. Ivana Spitania, Lakshmi Sting, Plowder Milk Biscuits, Margaret Splatwood, but none of those stuck in the end. In the end, I became Ann O'Steele. And derby's not going to be with me forever. I don't think my back could take it forever, but the things that I got from derby will. The things that I know of myself now, that I can hit hard, and I can send people flying, and I can get hit hard, and I can get knocked down, and I can get broken. But every time, I get up again, and I keep going, because I'm Anna Steele, and Anna Steele doesn't quit.